What's going on, Melanin Fitness Nation? So I got another one of our kinfolks in the hot seat, the guy himself, always doing some great things, the master adaptive athletes, always throwing around some weights, the man himself, Troy Conquest. I'm super excited to get you in the hot seat, Troy, and ask you all these questions. But first, before we start, I'm going to put you on the clock. And I want you to share any information you want us to know. You're going to have 60 seconds. It does not matter if it's CrossFit related, personally related, professionally related, whatever you want people to know about yourself, you will have the opportunity to do so. And I've already started the clock to count down right now. And you have 5 seconds to gather your thoughts. 3, 2, 1, go.
I'm blessed. I am absolutely blessed to do what I'm blessed to do with the people I do it with. One day at a time. That's it. I do, like I said, what I'm blessed to do. Not even going to put a lot of thought into it because, like they say, God wouldn't have brought me to it if he wasn't going to bring me through it. So every day is a challenge. Bring it. That's all.
That's it.
That's it.
That's it. All right. We're going to stop here in 36 seconds. He didn't make the full minute, but nonetheless, we're going to get some more information. So, Troy, tell us about your fitness journey. Tell us anything about your fitness journey. How did you get to where you're at right now?
A doctor said I couldn't do it. I mean, it's just that simple. You know, there's a big difference between God and DOC. And I've always been, ever since I've got sick, you know, at first it was defiance, then it became blessed defiance, then it became acceptance. Then, you know, as you guys have started following me, it's about inclusion. But I don't want anything given, you know, just like it means nothing given, everything earned. So just because I'm in a chair doesn't mean that I can't do the why. We just have to find a way to adapt and overcome the why, you know, just like everybody else. At the end, it all sucks for us all. We're all hot, we're all sweaty, we all want to go home, you know, so the chair means nothing. It's walking in the door that means everything, you know, so if I can help open doors for people to come in and say, hey, damn, Troy's in there. Why am I not? That's the goal.
Nice. So what advice would you give other people that are starting their fitness journey?
Try it, go, no excuses. It depends on you though. You know, you could have the best coaches, the best equipment, but best of everything, but it has to come from within. You know, you have to walk through that door, whether healthy or not, you know, so it's really no different. You know, it's just, I guess, more intimidating to a person in a wheelchair or with an illness or MS or an amputee or something like that, you know, but as you know, adaptives are just as competitive as anybody else. You know, we just have to find a different way to do things.
Nice. I love it. I love it. So tell us a little bit about some of your favorite moves. What are some of the moves that you enjoy doing?
Deadlifts.
Nice.
Deadlifts.
Nice.
I hate squats, you know, but again, like Mike Tyson says, the things you hate, you have to love, because if you love them, you'll do them. You know, I just love to be finished doing them, you know, but while I'm doing them, there ain't no love. There is no church. There is no Jesus. It's just, all right, just got to get through it, you know, so we'll have church afterwards, you know, but ain't no church in CrossFit until that clock says 0, 0, 0, 0.
Nice. Tell us what are some of your favorite foods to eat, whether they're healthy or unhealthy. Tell us like what you like to eat.
Fish, oxtails. But see, like I said, with my illness, there's a lot of things that I want, but that I know I can't do. But my biggest advice is, one day, know the ramifications of what you're going to eat and eat it. I mean, I'm not trying to be, Mr. Olympia or anything. I'm just trying to be consistent and disciplined. But there's times when that Ben and Jerry's thin mint ice cream looks awful good. Then you eat 3 bites of it, stomach is all grumbling and all that. So again, you got to know, hey, 6 a.m. is coming and you got squats tomorrow. So I don't want to be my partner.
Right, right, right. So
Mhm.
tell us 2 mottos that you live by.
Impossible is nothing. And if it's going to be, it's up to me and God to do it.
Okay, I like that. So we're going to go ahead and go into our second segment of our conversation, which is called Turning Tables. And
Okay.
this affords you the opportunity to ask me any questions that you would like me to answer for you. So tell
Okay.
me what questions you have that you would like for me to answer.
How can I and people like me earn our inclusion in places like your gym? What do we have to do to make healthy people more accepted of us? Make it not feel as awkward if somebody in a wheelchair comes into your gym, and then make them feel comfortable, you know? Whereas if I was to ask you, okay, let's do a WOD and you're in the chair the whole time, so how do we actually flip it so that both sides are seen?
So for me, like I've worked out with Deanna. I've had the pleasure of working out and training with her.
Mm-hmm.
I also have worked with Steve as well, which has really provided me with a lot of education.
Right.
And it wasn't even necessarily like, it was just really like fun. Like we were having fun, we were training. I was helping Deanna train for Wadapalooza at one point in time. And really, to me, like you all are already there. Like I see, and I'm thinking that you mean more or less when it comes to the competition side of what we do, because we're all inclusive anytime that we have anything. We just haven't made an adaptive group when it comes to
Right.
our like competitions. And I think that's like an easy fix for us. Like literally, I think working with Brian, because Brian actually does all the WODs, and saying, hey, we want to
Mm-hmm.
be able to be a part of this. We already have people that are interested. Even for instance, we have the Atlanta Masters Classic date for 2024. It would be
Right.
easy to go ahead and add that now rather than, 2 months or 3 months out, and we're trying to make that
Right.
accessible for everyone.
And see,
I
like I
think this
said, that
early.
would that would be, okay, Troy, we want you to come to Atlanta Masters. Here's the workout. Here's the movements. How can we adapt it? So again, it's not about me competing anymore. We have a saying down here in my gym. It's more about community than competition. Because again, the more people in Atlanta that see me doing it or wherever I go, it's to help get people into it, as opposed to, yay, I won a trophy. I got plenty of trophies. Now it's time to help plenty people, you
Mhm,
know, through fitness, through health, through getting them in the gym. Because once we get them in the door, we got
mhm.
them. So it's more of, like I said, just give me time. I can adapt to anything. That's why I don't like looking at the board and knowing, because it's just like in life. If I fall down, I got to know how to get up. It's not
Yeah.
going to be somebody there to say, well, okay, you have to get up. Nah, you got to get up. well, it's programmed like this. Well, life isn't, as we know, programmed the way we always want it to be.
Exactly. And also like when we host our virtual things, because we do host like virtual yoga classes, we host community classes on Saturdays, Melanin Fitness Nation, just having the presence of saying, oh, somebody, even if they do use a wheelchair, hey, they're coming. So now we can make space. When people show up, we can make space. The issue is what happens is people are like, yeah, we want to do this, we want to do it, make space, and then they don't show up. So for instance, I can take an example. We opened up the Atlanta Masters Classic to Junior Masters this year because I had several people in the past say, hey, I want to compete. I'm not old enough. Da 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 da. Well, guess what? We opened up this Junior Masters edition, arena, and we didn't even have 5 people to fill the spot. So it's kind of like we, corralled this together and then nobody shows up. But I think showing up for the everyday thing and just saying, hey, we want to jump in on this virtual yoga class. Like, let's jump in. Let's make sure that you all are there because before we can go ahead and let the yoga instructor know, hey, we're going to have some adaptive athletes join us. We're going to probably have to tweak a couple things when it comes to power yoga or our Zen kind of yoga. Let's just make it happen. And I think knowing about those things so we can be prepared and not reactive to when they show up is just better for us. Because I don't ever want it to be a situation where somebody, adaptive athlete showing up and they're just like, oh my God, like it was just complete chaos to even get me started. I want it to be a smooth transition as just for any other type of athlete, because we're all athletes at the end of the day.
Right. And see, that's just a matter of communication. Like I said, God willing, Leslie, I promise you, if I'm around, I will be at the Atlanta Classic next year. So it's just a matter of, all right, there's the WOD. You go out there and do it. All right, well, I'm going to do what we make it do.
Yeah. And Deanna was there last year. She was there with us this year, helping. Like, she's there, like, hey, I want to do this. She's out there judging. She's out, and Steven has helped us too. So it's all family. It's
Trust
all
me. Steven and I are coming next year.
Good. Just bring your whole crew.
Thunderdome, we just did Thunderdome together, and it was like they put us with the scale guys, but they were cool as hell because they're like, damn, well, y'all are doing better than we are in the WOD. And again, but people don't think about things like me pushing on carpet as opposed to a flat surface. When I have to do things like box arounds or wheelies or things like that, makes a big difference. But simple things like that, or how do you squat? Just like you do. I just do it off a box, or I use a plate. Like I said, that was when I did Thunderdome and I sent y'all the video. That was the first time I had ever squatted off a box with a plate to go to a thruster.
Nice.
Today I actually did overhead squats with a 35-pound bar. Yeah. And I'm cussing the whole time because my training partner's like, why you add more weight? You got a pretty upper body. Now we got to do your legs. I'm like, you're right. But again, I have to check my ego, because the ego says you can do more weight, but what's the sense of doing more weight as opposed to doing less weight correctly?
Correct.
So it's no different. It's no different because the goal is to, like I said, is to be consistent and disciplined, not to say, ooh, my PR is a 200-pound squat, but I can't walk for the next 2 months.
Correct.
So like Ice Cube said, you got to check yourself before you wreck yourself.
Right. Exactly. That's definitely true. So tell me what other questions I can answer for you, Troy. You got me in the hot seat. So what else you got?
What can I do to help you guys? What can I, I can send the videos. Yeah, I can, I think the more I talk to people like you, the more competitions I do, the more time, like you said, show up and show out. Show people the struggle though too. See, everybody sees the workouts. Y'all don't see when I go home and how hard it is, like, or I sit in the car for a half an hour because I can't feel my legs, but as the happy stuff we show, we got to show the real stuff too. You got to show, there's a lady that I follow, Amy Van Dyke, and she's a competitor and she has an indwelling catheter. The problems with having bathroom issue, squatting puts pressure on your bladder. Ooh, hey, Leslie, gotta go bathroom. That's real, so we got to keep the real with the good and the bad. And then, like I always said, everybody, it's not always sunshine and roses. There are bad days. There are days when the knee says, nope, okay, but I got to accept that. There's got to be days where I got to rest. Now I will never cheat you and I'll never cheat the WOD and I'll never quit. But at the same time, if the WOD calls for 10, and I do 8 or I do 6, at least I'm doing something, because again, the goal is to get to the finish line. I don't care how you get there, how many reps it takes you to get there. I want to see you at the finish.
Absolutely. For us, really just sharing our events, tagging people to our events, is something. Being in the Facebook group, sharing information. We're getting ready to change the dynamics of the Facebook group to be a lot more inclusive. I've actually been visiting a lot of other Facebook groups. So right now we have two. We have one for CrossFitters and we have a general one, which is just Melanin Fitness Nation, all type of fitness modalities.
Right.
And one thing I've seen across the board that has been very consistent is that people have these big fitness groups and they do nothing with them because they want to put a cap on what you can do and what you can't do. So I want to approach it differently. And I don't want to put a cap on what you can do and can't do. I want people to share resources. I want people to share to say, hey, we're going running this week. Hey, my son is in a wheelchair. Who can I connect them with? Hey, I'm trying to lose 50 pounds. What do I need to do? Who can help me? Like, I want us to share resources and not feel like we're confined to the rules of the group to not be able to kind of like flourish and bloom. I don't think that's really necessary. So really sharing information, like we share information all the time. I share information about grant opportunities, sharing that information with others, because I think there are a lot of gym owners that are of color or in another minority group, and they don't even have time because you're worried about the day-to-day of your gym functioning. And you don't know that there's a $10,000 grant out there that you could potentially be eligible for if you just take 5 to 7 minutes out of your day.
How can we get more vets involved, Leslie? I mean, y'all are up in Atlanta that has a huge vet presence, has a huge disabled vet presence. I mean, we
send them to me. Send them to me. They can come and work out in our gym. I have 2 gyms right now that we have partnerships with. That's one that I actually coach at. They can definitely come over there. We are more than willing to work with them. Deanna and another young lady have both came to the gym, both adaptive athletes, and they were able to work out with no issues because we do have the adaptive equipment, a bit of adaptive equipment there. There's another gym also, Silverback Fitness in Conyers, and he would be more than willing to take any people over there as well too. So we're making the connections with different gyms in the area. There are a couple of more that I'm having conversations with in the near future, but just send them to me and we can definitely work something out so they have a safe space to work.
Here's what I would say to you. Reach out to the VA in Atlanta or wherever. Find out how many, like the wheelchair games are in New Orleans next year. I haven't gone since 2019, right before the pandemic. God willing, I'm going next year. That's a showcase again. If you call me, Troy, can you come up for a weekend? I have a group of vets that would, make it happen. Because again, Leslie, like I said, this isn't about trophies to me. I'm 58 years old. I got plenty of trophies. I'm on borrowed time. Trust me. I've been doing this 28 years, so I just want to leave behind something that helps somebody else, and if again, 28 years ago, a doctor said you'll never walk again. Okay, I'm gonna be nice because I'm not gonna say, because we're on an interview, what I said to him. But I mean, I have the tattoo on my arm, 42895. Never say never. I never believed that I would never walk again. Am I going to win a marathon? No, but I'm gonna walk.
Right.
Am I going to, you know, race Tariq Hill? No, but I'm gonna walk. I'm gonna do, and if I can help some little kid like the guy over in England that has that gym, I
Mm-hmm.
love the fact that he just helps people. If I could get a grant to do that, woof, that would be, you know,
No, I definitely just posted some great information. Look in the Facebook group. I can send you the link. I will definitely,
right,
I'm getting ready to post some more because there's a couple more grants that came out. And I also tried
right,
to tell people, get with your county, because a lot of times your county, they have these meetings. People do not show up as to what's going on in their county.
right,
You can literally get resources right in your county if you go to the
right.
people and find out what grant opportunities they have. So yeah, we can definitely work something out to where we're doing something. We're working on our 2024 calendar right now. We are hosting a gala in 2024. Fingers crossed, we're going to
Yep.
make that happen. So it'll be open to everybody. So it's not just people of color, it's allies too. Because as we know, we have to align also with our
We
allies as well.
can't do it by ourselves.
You are
You know,
absolutely correct.
that's the thing. You know, I love Melanin Fitness, but guess what? We
Yep.
all got some of us in all of us. So, I don't, when people say Melanin Fitness, oh, that's just nope, nope, nope. It's not
Nope.
just Black people, it's
Mm-mm.
all people, because even white people are a person of color. Because guess what? When they go out and lay out in the sun, guess what?
Mhm.
You got color. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So
And some of
I
our
don't,
allies have been amazing. They've been down with us since we've started. We have some of the
right,
best, hands down, allies ever. I literally have allies in Connecticut. They come down
right,
every single year for every single event. We now have allies in Kentucky. They come down for our events. They've been down 2 years in a row, and every year they just keep piling on more and more people. We have allies in Roswell. We have allies all over the place, and they are definitely down with us to help us move the needle forward. So I'm just so
okay,
thankful, not only for people of color, but for our allies that just stand in the gaps and they mention our names in rooms where we are not yet in those rooms. So I'm
right.
very thankful.
Well, see that, and that's my thing, Leslie, too. I want to be in those rooms. I want Steve to be in those. So when we did that thing together, he's
Mm-hmm.
like, "Are you gonna sit in your chair?" I'm like, "Nah, I'm gonna stand with my brother." So
Mm-hmm.
when we got the awards, that
Right.
picture meant a lot to us,
Right.
because again, united we stand, divided we fall,
Mm-hmm.
so
So
hey,
let me ask you
I
this
have
question, and let me ask you this question, and then we'll conclude our interview. I want to leave you with
okay.
this. Tell me what you currently think about CrossFit headquarters and what they're doing with the sport, or the lack of inclusion in the sport.
Can I be brutally honest?
You could be very honest. I've had people cuss, I've had people do everything. So this is definitely a space for you
It's
to articulate yourself.
it's it's bullshit because everybody's not elite. And guess what? At one day, those who are elite will be my age. Those who are elite will have an illness. Those who are elite will get sick. They're not always going to be elite. But guess what? If that's all you show, that's all you see. But just like my friend Jordan Ingsbury, she's from Florida. I've competed with Jordan. She came third in the world, didn't get any coverage. And that broke my heart because Jordan busted her ass to make it. I mean, in 2022, I was the number 3 in the world, Leslie, 55 to 58. Oh, you can't come. What do you mean I can't come? You made me do all these crazy ass workouts, and all you're going to do is send me a hat. Thank you. Nah, Okay, but you know what? Talk to God about it. Because again, we all got one judge and he sees everything, so you don't include me. Guess what? There is no elites in heaven. So, and eventually, like I said, they're going to be our age. Them elite people are going to be. I said to a partner of mine in the gym the other day, Lord, let me live 28 more years so I can see them at 58 and see if you're
Mm,
still coming to the gym 6 days
mm-hmm.
a week. You see what
Nice,
I'm saying? Because it's
nice.
all about right now. Nobody's thinking about the future. You see what I'm saying? If CrossFit keeps doing that, CrossFit will be just like any other fad. You know,
Do
Richard
you think
Simmons
that,
used to
what do
be
you think
around
needs to
20.
change?
Inclusion. Talk to us. Make it so that you know what? Everybody's equal. Not just the adaptives, the age group people too. The 50 to 50 and over and all that, they're out there busting their humps too. you know, but just because our muscles aren't pretty and we don't look as good with the six packs and all that stuff, guess what? Like that shirt says, fuck around and find out. It's all fun and games until you get beat up by somebody in a wheelchair.
I love it.
So
Troy, I gotta
I'm
stop
just
you on that one. We're gonna end
I'm,
it on that because that was enough. That was enough. So guess what, y'all? We're gonna stop talking to Troy, but I promise you, Melanin Fitness Nation, we are gonna get Troy back in the hot seat. I absolutely love these conversations, and thank you so much, Troy, for being transparent with us. Thank you so much for being open with us. We are definitely going to continue this conversation. Until next time, make sure you go and follow Troy on Instagram. He's always up to something. If he's not in the gym, he's on a boat fishing, y'all. Fishing, like catching for real fish. So yes, check him out. Troy Conquest, thank you so much. See y'all later, Melanin Fitness Nation. Until next time.
salute, Melanin Fitness, salute.